Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Welcome and thank you so much for joining me. I just really appreciate that you tune in to see what's going on in my craft room and take the time to include me in your life. Today I am sharing the results of the Coptic stitch binding class that I took. It's Coptic Stitch Book Binding with Annalise was the name of the class, and Annalise is an instructor here in Oregon. I had a great time at this class. Let me tell you about it and then I'll talk about the project itself. The class was 2 hours, so it was 10 to noon on a Saturday. I think we paid $50. We paid quite a while ago, and I told my husband it was my Valentine's Day present. I enjoyed it because it was a doable project in the class, so I expected to leave there with yet another UFO in my craft room, unfinished object, and I don't feel like I did. I mean, I could decorate the cover, I could start using it right away. It's ready to go. I could put some charms, but it's a done project. So I liked that about the class. She was a wonderful teacher. It was really fun and relaxing. I would definitely like to take classes from her again. And it was hosted at Runaway Art Studio, which is in downtown Salem, Oregon. And I have showed you some video from there before. I think I have a couple of maybe a minute's worth of video. I'll put it at the end so you can take a look. There were a couple new products in there that I was pretty excited about. Our friend Noni wasn't with us, but I'm sure that she would have found some new treasures to purchase in there. So let me tell you about Coptic stitching. This is not a beautiful sample of it. I will not be making you a tutorial anytime soon. Okay? You'll notice one of my signatures, I got it in upside down. You know how in journal making we make a template for the top and the bottom, and I had my pages right side up and I knew what was the top of them. The problem was I was flipping my book back and forth, so I got that upside down still. And then the last signature I sewed in, look how sloppy it is. There's just something not right about that one, but overall it's pretty cool. It's a 10 signature. Oh, well, maybe the fact that there's no thread right there and I didn't tie it in, that could be it. I might need to take that last part apart, which is funny because Andrea was saying she might take hers apart right there at the end. So yeah, I can untie it and catch that. Okay, then we did 10 signatures. When she was walking us through the project, I thought 10 signatures in a class for the first time. It's because you need practice to learn. You need to learn how to put all your signatures in. So 10 was pretty good. Each signature is 4 sheets of paper folded over. So there are a lot of pages in here. And the thing that's neat about this binding that people like, don't mind my messiness, is it lays perfectly flat. You can add to, you can change the shape of it and the size of it, but it lays really flat. So you can have this in your backpack or your purse or whatever, and it's a sketchbook or a journal book that you can lay flat in and you're not fighting the different pages. Some things, like the one that I'm making in the tutorial, it does lay flat, but when you get into multi-signature stuff most of the time, you have to fight it to get things to lay flat, you know, and so it's just not as easy to work in, especially if I made the book. So I think the class was a success. I learned enough in the class to do a good job in the future. She also gave us amazing color instructions step by step, and she recommended a video by Salem on YouTube. If you're not familiar with her, she does all sorts of great book stuff. So Salem has a Coptic stitching video. I watched that, and I probably should have watched that before the class. For me, I knew it when I was doing this, but I didn't know how to stop it. I was moving the book around way too much while I was stitching. So I would get things perfectly lined up, my signatures nice and tight, and then jungle it all around while I was sewing. So of course it got crooked. In Salem's video, she has it down on the table pretty much, and she's not moving it nearly as much as I was. And I knew, I even told Andrea, I'm moving this book around way too much while I'm stitching it. The cover was Kind of odd for me, huh? It was just a stack of paper and you selected. I probably should have just walked over and purchased a blue piece of paper for myself, but I didn't know that I was going to have a finished project and like it. So your cover and your inside, and you can make them, I flipped it, right? This was what I put on the outside, and then I flipped the paper to do the inside. It's one 12 by 12 sheet, and then you have your branding strip, which for this brand, Pebbles, they color the whole thing, and one little scrap. So at the end, if you could make yourself a little bookmark and put it in that would match and be corresponding. But really neat that you can do your cover. The cover is just cardboard, chipboard, and the pages can be whatever you dream them to be. It could be much more junky. We could tear the edges. We could use dyes on the edges, pinking shears. You know all the drill. You could go crazy. And I think because it's so flexible, you could junk this thing up and it would still, it would get chunky and fat, but I think it would still stand up nice. It would still close. I think this stitching method has a lot to offer. And this is you can use a paper template, just like she gave us a cardstock. So we made a paper template like I do on my other books. There's also a kit circling through Tuesday morning by We Are Memory Keepers that you could use to mark your holes for this kind of stitching too. Very fun, and we used waxed linen thread, which I don't believe I had actually used before, and I like it. And the other thing is, it hadn't occurred to me that if I was going to buy waxed linen thread, I should buy black. I probably would have bought cream or white, but I really like the black, and I think it would work with absolutely everything. And you could use this thread, if you bought the waxed linen, you could use it for the ones that I've been using the embroidery floss on too. Whatever. All right. I just wanted to tell you how the class turned out. Andrea and I had fun. We went out for lunch. Pooh cried the entire time I was checking on the video, and I just don't know what I'm going to do with my little Pooh Bear, but here's a little bit of clip from the store. This paper is Blue Fern Studios. Blue Fern Studios. This was the first time I had seen their paper or touched it. It's detailed, right? Kind of graphic 45-ish. It is super, super smooth, almost like it's polished or like a semi-gloss finish. Not sure how I felt about that, honestly. Here are some things that I think Noni would want to see. Some new stamps. Look at those enamel dots from Hero Arts in a variety of sizes. Super cute. I think Andrea brought some of those home, but I resisted because I have so much stuff to be used up. Look at those cute stamps. Now look at these Hero Scapes. Maybe everybody's already seen these and I was just behind. But look at the cards. They're layering for landscapes. I hope everybody's having a great week. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.